Hello, 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 and welcome to another Fallout 76 Weapons Spotlight. Today we're going to take a look at the latest, greatest, everybody's just gotta have it weapon of the moment, the Enclave Plasma Flamer. This one with the Aristocrat's legendary effect and better VATS Criticals. We'll run it at full health, try to stay sneaky with the Chinese stealth suit, and see if it's all it's cracked up to be. Remember, if you like videos like this and want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and follow me on Twitter. As always, we'll spend a little time looking at the build we'll be running today, and then we'll jump into the action. I'll include timestamps to make it easy to skip around as you like. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weapon. So here it is in all its glory, and I have to say thank you to Mad Chicky Alfredo, who came by my camp and dropped it for me a couple weeks back. So we get a chance to take a look at one. With the Enclave Plasma Guns, you don't really get to pick your mods. There are a few mods that you can get from vendors and things like that, but for the most part, what people are doing is farming the dropped connection event and hoping they get a good one, and then farming those vendors for mods. So in this case, I'm running it exactly as it was dropped for me. We've got the aligned flamer barrel, so we can run it as a flamer. Stabilized stock, so it's a rifle. Reflex sight that'll help out with VATS AP cost. Other than that, standard capacitor. There's not a lot of magic going on with it, but what makes the Enclave Plasma special is that it does a little more damage than the regular plasma, so that makes it a bit more powerful to begin with. And then when we add the Aristocrat's effect, where we get 50% more damage if we're over 29,000 caps, which I am today, that's going to help out a lot. VATS critical hits doing more damage can also be really useful in this case because this is such a high rate of fire, high DPS weapon. The hope is that we get lots of VATS criticals and can get a lot of mileage out of it. So it looks cool. It's a little bit different looking than the regular plasma rifle. Not dramatically, it's the same overall, but it's got a little Enclave E on the back of it and some different coloring. But other than that, it works essentially the same way. You just can't get mods quite so easily. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the mutations we'll be running today. So this is normally my Bloodied Stealth Commando character. Bear that in mind as to where the mutations come from, but they're pretty standard across the board for most ranged builds. We've got Adrenal Reaction for more damage at low health. We'll be running full health today, but as our health drops, we will get a little bit of something out of that. Bird Bones and Marsupial, so we can jump high and land softly. Get a little more agility out of Bird Bones as well. Carnivore, so meat is more effective. Chameleon, which I always say is completely useless in every way. I don't think there's anything we're getting out of that at all. Eagle Eyes for better critical damage and better perception for more VATS accuracy. Egghead for more intelligence, which is going to yield more XP. Healing Factor to automatically heal up between fights. Scaly Skin for some extra damage and energy resistance. Speed Demon, so we move and reload faster. And this character also has Talons, which is going to do nothing for us today. So those are the mutations. Let's go ahead and take a look at legendary perks. We start off with Legendary Intelligence, which is now maxed out. So conveniently, that allows me to take Demolition Expert and Gunsmith fully maxed out at the same time, so I don't have to switch so many things around, and gives me the benefit of more XP. After that, we've got Legendary Charisma, so I can take more Charisma perks. Remember that allows you to take Charisma perks. It does not allow you to share more powerful Charisma perks. So bear that in mind as you make your choices. After that, we've got Ammo Factory, so that I can make more ammo every time I craft it. I do not enjoy farming for materials. I do not enjoy jumping around from server to server to try and move things from character to character. So Ammo Factory is a big one for me. I enjoy it. I like it there. So that is where it stays. After that, we've got Follow Through, which makes our targets take 40% more damage for 10 seconds after we land a successful sneak attack. I think that's going to be useful here today because the Plasma Flamer is not a particularly stealthy weapon. I have heard some people say that it is. It is not. That is not correct. You can be somewhat stealthy with it if you've got a lot of stealth in your build, and we're going to do the best we can with that today. But this may be really beneficial because it'll make our target take a little more damage, which could be useful if we fall out of stealth. Finally, we wrap things up with Legendary Endurance and Legendary Luck. Legendary Endurance, of course, lets me take a couple more endurance perks, I should say. The big one I take there is Revenant, so if I get revived in a fight, I do more damage. And then Legendary Luck allows me to max out that category, which gives me more VATS Critical chances and allows me to take VATS Critical related perks. So that's it for legendary perks. Let's take a look at the special build. I've made a few tweaks to my Stealth Commando build to accommodate this weapon. Let's start in Strength, where we've got Bandolier. That reduces my ballistic ammo weight. Even though this weapon doesn't use ballistic ammo, I still carry a lot of it on me, so reducing the weight is helpful. Perception is maxed out. Now you'll notice I did a couple things differently here. I'm running all the Rifleman perks. When you have the Flamer barrel on a plasma, that still actually uses Rifleman perks, not Commando, despite the fact that it very much seems like an automatic weapon. Tank Killer still works here. That's going to give us better armor penetration. And rather than going for Ground Pounder, I went for Concentrated Fire being maxed out to increase my weak spot limb targeting accuracy in VATS. So the plan is to use this weapon in VATS. Whether we'll be successful with that or not remains to be seen. We'll find out, but that seems like a good idea to take advantage of those VATS Criticals. Endurance, we've got at 3. Radical, so I have more strength when my rads are high. Not going to be a factor today because we're running at full health, but under normal circumstances it is. Revenant, so I get to do more damage if I get revived during a fight. Again, helpful during normal circumstances, not so much today. Charisma's at 7. We've got Tenderizer maxed out to make the target take more damage after we attack. And we've got Lone Wanderer, so I get a little bit of damage avoidance and better AP refresh. That can be useful today because I'm running solo. Intelligence at 14. Here today we've got Demolition Expert and Gunsmith maxed out, which that's going to help us a little bit with weapon durability. Demolition Expert does nothing for this weapon. It's just there because it's usually there in my build. Scrapper, so that when I scrap guns in particular, I get more steel for ammo production. And I swapped out Nerd Rage for batteries included because we're not running at low health today. So why not reduce the weight of that energy ammo that can be quite heavy. Agility, we've got at 15. I've got Escape Artist and Sneak so that we can be as stealthy as possible and get out of trouble if we get detected. Covert Operative to increase our ranged sneak attack damage. Then I've got Adrenaline to do more damage as we take on bigger and bigger mobs. And then Action Boy for better AP refresh. I considered sticking with Gunfu here, but I don't love Gunfu on weapons where you have to get a little closer. So I didn't find that that was going to be particularly useful today, so I opted for Action Boy for better AP regen. I think that matters when we're running at full health where we don't have as much AP, and the goal is to rely on VATS in a weapon with a really high fire rate and DPS. So that was my thinking. We'll see how it all pans out. Luck is of course maxed out. We've got Starched Genes and Class Freak so we can keep our mutations and reduce their negative effects. Bloody Mess for extra damage. I've got better criticals maxed out here. There's no need to keep Serendipity in here like we would at low health, so why not pop that in there for a little more VATS critical damage? Then we've got Grim Reaper, Sprint, Psychopath, and 4-Leaf Clover. Just kind of a hodgepodge of things there to give us more critical chances and keep our AP full. And that's it for the build. That's been enough chit-chat about all this. Let's jump over to the Whitespring and see how this thing works. So in we go. We're going to try and stay stealthy, even though this is not a particularly stealthy weapon. It doesn't really make noise, but the plasma rifle itself is not suppressed. So the Flamer is by default not suppressed either. You can see with these VATS headshots, we're doing quite well if the hits register. We don't really need much. If we're using these VATS headshots and keeping the critical button mashed down, we're doing very well. Of course, Ghouls are pretty squishy to begin with, but you can see how efficient that is. So far, so good. We haven't used a ton of ammo. We've got a lot of power here, and there's just some basic hip fire with it. Works really well. So if we want to max out the damage, of course, we want to use our VATS critical headshots, but I don't know that that's really all that necessary with Ghouls. There you can see a few shots and he's dead without anything. Honestly, I'm kind of liking just hip firing this thing better anyway. There's definitely more power if we target the weak points, but I don't know. Something to be said for ease of use in general. So far so good. Let's head downstairs and see if we can make it through here without getting killed. At full health, we should be able to, but I've only got the Chinese stealth suit on, so I don't have a ton of armor. I want to keep an eye on things. There we go. So, yeah, I kind of like the hipfire aspect of this because it just seems quicker. With VATS, it seems to slow me down. I picked up an Aristocrat spear. That's going to be useless. So, yeah, I don't know. Using VATS in tight spaces like that, it just feels like a slowdown. I don't know if I like that. I think I might be willing to give up a little more ammo in exchange for ease of use. It would, of course, help if I could aim. Alright, let's make it to the back here, see if we've got a Wendigo. It sounds like we do. You're done. I'm still in stealth, at least for now. Now I'm in danger. Alright, let's take out these rad roaches. They might be detecting me. Okay, there's our Wendigo. We'll do the headshot. And even without stealth, you can see how effective that was. No trouble there at all. VATS headshot's doing the job. And there's another ghoul that just seems to have appeared out of nowhere. Okay. That's fine. I'll survive. I heard another one. Is it outside? Oh, no. Another one just made it in behind me somewhere. Maybe it came in the back door by the kitchen. Health is getting a little low. We'll top that up. Grab the legendary. And there's an easy 10 script. Anybody left outside, or are we set to run straight into the deep? We'll just do a quick check. I think they all ran in. Nope, we got one left out here. And we'll make quick work of him. Here we are in the deep. The catwalk to Kami Land. Let's go ahead and see here. These Liberators might be a little tougher, just because they have a bit more armor. And even though this energy weapon does ballistic damage, it still does energy damage too, and that doesn't do so well when it comes to armor penetration. But all in all, nothing too crazy here. But you can see we definitely lose stealth pretty easily. And I found that to be the case. That's been my biggest challenge here. I've seen people use this weapon to take down Earl in, 8 seconds and all that kind of stuff, which is great, but I don't know how they're maintaining stealth. Once you get a couple of shots on, you lose it. You blow that stealth really quick, so maybe it's because they're taking him down so quick before any of his minions spawn, and they can get away with not getting detected. I'm not sure. We're not going to do Earl today because I'm not really set up for that. You've got to have... you want to really do those speed runs, you got to take on... You got to get some other buffs. You need some magazines, you need some bobbleheads, you need some foods and beverages to get you where you need to be. Easy enough kill there. Somebody inside threw a grenade at the wall. That was, very helpful, I'm sure. Alright, we should have 2 out back here. I'm curious to see how this does against our power armor commander. Grab up those stim packs in 5.56. There he is. We want to get in line here to get a headshot. And we should be getting close. Get back on target. There we go. Oh, yeah, not as quick as the other ones. That's okay. We managed to survive. Should have held on just a little bit longer. Got used to those quick kills on the non-power armored commies. It's alright. We'll head inside here. We're still in danger. Now we're in caution. And we've got 3 in a row. Now we're in danger again. Okay, one more over here. Let's just hip fire him. Good to go. So yeah, after running both of these in tighter spaces, I definitely prefer just hip firing this thing. I really, really do. I recognize the power of the VATS Critical, but it just doesn't feel like the most efficient way to use the weapon, or maybe just not as much of a fun way to use the weapon. Alright, let's finish the job here. We got just a couple left. Alright, that was nice and quick with the VATS headshot. And we are clear. Well, it says we're still in danger, but I don't see or hear anything else around. All right, game. Sorry, I don't have all day. Let's go take this thing to a Behemoth and see what we get. So this should be a pretty good test of this weapon against tougher enemies. Super mutant Behemoths have big banks of health, lots of armor. So we're going to use this weapon as intended. We're going to highlight the head. We're going to use the VATS Criticals, and we're going to see how quickly we can melt this guy down. And yeah, you heard those VATS Criticals going off. Super, super quick. Very, very efficient. So absolutely a solid weapon there. Can't complain one bit. But that was an easy target too. There was no defense. There was no movement. Let's move along and see what else we can do here. We'll head up to the Fissure site. Take on some Scorched and a Scorchbeast. Here, I'm pretty sure we're going to run out of stealth. We'll get detected fairly easily. But as we have stealth, that's the big difference. If you've got stealth, if you're in caution, you're going to get a ton of extra damage out of this thing. And pretty much everything goes down really fast. Once you lose stealth, it's still very efficient, but it's definitely not as easy to kill. So there you can see we lost stealth. Didn't do quite as well, but I'm kind of having fun just running around burning things with this. And oh good, the Scorchbeast is making bad life choices. Alright, let's take out his minion. Melt the head, and are we going to get there? We ran out of AP. Okay, there we go. So, very efficient, but we ran out of AP, and that broke the VATS critical chain, but still, very, very solid all around. Very good performance so far from this weapon. Let's head over to Sunrise Field and see what we can do with some Mirelurks and a Mirelurk Queen. Kind of interested to see how this thing does against the Mirelurk Kings when we get to them too. They're tough little bastards if you can get a hold of them. Okay, easy enough against the human targets. They're cleared out so they won't aggro anything. And conditions still okay. There's a king. Let's go after him. I hear another one behind me too. Alright, we're still in caution. Let's get that headshot. Ah, lost it with the tree. We did fall out of stealth, but that was still really, really quick kill. We'll take that every time. We should have a few others over by the house with the paint that doesn't appear to be fully stabilized in reality at the moment. Okay, let's kill you, and now we'll take you down. And still very efficient, even without the VATS Criticals. Alright, anybody else hanging around here? There's usually one more out in the water. Let's take him out, and then we'll go after the queen. Well, that was quick. Must have hit the legs. So now we've got to bring the queen up. I don't have any grenades. That's not good. Alright, we're just gonna have to run around here and hope she pops up. Make enough noise to get her to jump out of the water. Come on, Queenie, I know you're in here. I know you're in here somewhere. There we go, we'll just shoot, that'll do it. Okay. That wakes her up, and we're still in caution. Can we kill her before she kills us, is the big question here. So the weak point on the queen is the legs. But she's also got those spouts that do a lot of damage from poison, so getting those is not bad, but holy crap, she hits hard, and we're dead. Let's see if we can finish this off successfully. We should probably be smart and go for the legs, but I'd really like to cripple those spouts. All right, we're in danger. We got to get away. Gotta get away. She hits way too hard. The Chinese stealth armor does not provide enough protection for something like that. Let's get those legs targeted. And we're out of stealth already, so let's just hip fire this thing down. She's going down. All right, almost dead. There we go. So, yeah, little more challenging there. Without good armor, falling out of stealth, that really didn't work well at all. So, here's another challenging spot. Let's hit Abandoned Bogtown. We've got a couple of gulpers, and then when we get here, we usually have a Behemoth and some super mutant buddies. All right, easy enough. Gulpers, now we're in danger, so we don't get as much out of that. But still very efficient. The big thing with this weapon is overall DPS, not so much per shot damage. So I really think the ideal combo here is probably... Ooh, we've got a legendary Behemoth. And we're in danger, and we're almost dead. Oh, crap. Here we go. We're going to die again. Yep, saw that coming. All right, let's see if we can maybe take out some of these other mutants first. Maybe that'll keep us a little safer. Fewer things to detect us. I think that... No, we got one more here before we get to the Behemoth. That was a rather animated death, and the Behemoth is on us already. Okay, we're running low on health again, but we're doing a lot of damage, and yeah, I lived a little too dangerously there. So, I'm really not blaming the weapon here. I think the problem here is my choice to go with the Chinese stealth armor, which doesn't offer me much protection. So, big enemy like that, it looks like we can kind of take one hit. Okay, maybe we can take two. We better stim up and get away. Alright. Get some room. We're in caution again. See if we can get that head lined up. So yeah, big difference between a Behemoth that's up and about and one that's sleeping, isn't there? Alright, we got him just in time. Perfect. Okay, so... yeah, that was definitely a bit of a challenge. Fun challenge, but definitely a challenge nonetheless. Can't blame the weapon. I think really the problem is here that I went with stealth armor to try and enhance stealth, and it just really doesn't work all that well. So let's talk conclusions. The big question, as always, is this weapon good? Well, yes. As we saw, it has the potential to do crazy amounts of damage really, really fast. But it's not a stealthy weapon, and you have to get pretty close to your target, which does put you in increased danger. The legendary combo on this one is probably suited well for boss fights like Earl or the Scorchbeast Queen, where it boosts overall damage, and combining that with lots of VATS Criticals seems like a good way to dump tons of damage into those enemies very quickly. But for general farming or simple day-to-day gameplay, a combo like Vampires and Hitmans or Vampires and faster fire rate would probably be better. The weapon does a ton of damage before we even factor in legendary effects, so something that would just boost overall DPS and help us stay alive may be a bit more useful for those situations. The other question to ask, though, is this a weapon that's worth the time it's going to take to get a good one? Remember, you can't just craft and scrap these for mods. You can't craft them at all. You have to rely on RNG to get one with the mods you want, and then server hop to rely on more RNG to get some of the other mods, particularly the Flamer Barrel. Only then does it make sense to mod the weapon with legendary effects. That's a pretty major time investment. If you just have to have the most powerful weapons, then sure, go for it. But for most players, you might just be better off using a regular plasma rifle instead. You'll give up a little damage, but you'll be able to get exactly the mods you want, when you want them, and just have to worry about crafting legendary effects. Ultimately, you may end up with a better weapon that way, just because you'll get more chances at getting what you actually want. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is about all I've got on this one. It's clearly a good weapon, no question about it, but it's a pretty big time sink to get a really good one. You'll have to judge whether that's worthwhile for you or not. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter for updates. There's always a lot more to come on the channel, and I hope I see you all next time.